Now, I said at the top of the show that Linda Burney, the Indigenous Australians Minister, had another shocker in Parliament today. It was just so embarrassing. She should have been told by the Speaker to just stop speaking and sit down until she made some sense. Now, Burney used to say that Labor's plan for a voice, a kind of Aboriginal-only advisory parliament, was part of a package with a new Aboriginal Makarrata Commission as well, to draw up a treaty with non-Aborigines. A Makarrata Commission apparently is going to be independent, have responsibility for truth-telling and treaty-making.
Makarrata Commission will be independent and have responsibility for truth-telling and treaty-making. It will work with a voice to the Parliament. So,
this Makarrata and this voice to the Parliament working together. So, like I said, part of a package. But now that support for this voice is sinking like a stone, voters are quite nervous about any talk of treaty down the track and compensation and links to things like that. And so Burney and the rest of Labor suddenly are refusing to even mention this Makarrata Commission that they've been openly promising for quite a while now. Burney, for instance, and this is the embarrassing bit, today in question time, refused to even answer a very direct question about this Makarrata, reading instead an answer written for her about something else instead.
$5.8 million for an independent Makarrata Commission. Does the government still support this commission, and exactly what will it do?
The 2023 referendum is about constitutional recognition through a voice. Australians will be asked a simple question. Do you support a change to the Constitution to recognise the First Peoples of Australia by establishing an Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander voice?
Well, the question was about the Makarrata Commission and funding from the government, from her government, and does the government still support the Commission and what will it do? Just to invite her to return to the question.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Members of the Voice will be chosen by Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people in their local areas and serve for a 6th period.
Unbelievable, you know, and it happened yet again. Almost identical question, same response.
Last year, the government announced $5.8 million for an independent Makarrata Commission. Does the government still support this commission, and what exactly will it do?
What Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people have asked for is constitutional recognition through a voice.
Now, both times, actually, we cut it out, it's getting long. The Speaker both times ruled in the middle of Burney's answer she should actually answer the question she was asked. Both times she didn't and kept talking about the voice and not the Makarrata thing. Now, normally a minister would or should be told, well, if you're not answering the question, not even trying to, you're defying my ruling to answer it, sit down and be quiet. But Burney seems protected. I don't know whether there's a health issue here that they're, you know, don't want to embarrass her, but this is just, this is not acceptable. Joining me is Rowan Dean, editor of The Spectator Australia and host of Outsiders here on Sky News every Sunday at 9 a.m. Rowan, what does this interchange tell you?
Well, Andrew, the reality is that the Australian people are now saying that the voice is about deception and it is about stealth. And the problem for people like Linda Burney is they've had it so cushy for so long, just being able to go along and talk these platitudes. But when you actually get to the detail, there's a huge schism within the Voice campaign. What has been said from day one at the Garma Festival last year, what has been said repeatedly by Linda Burney and others in the Yes campaign, all of Labor, to their activist constituency, is that the Voice is going to have the power to change Australia. It's going to change Australia by bringing in a treaty. It's going to bring in essentially black sovereignty, which is what Lydia Thorpe wants. It will bring in truth-telling and all these other things. But the Australian people don't want that. The Australian people are quite happy to see some kind of recognition, which is what they were told and all along. This was all it was, a harmless, just a nice gesture of being friendly to Indigenous Australians, to those who still felt aggrieved. Quite frankly, I don't know why they do still feel aggrieved, but anyway, that's a different issue. Felt aggrieved, and that this would be a generous thing from the heart, a gesture, a symbolic gesture. But there is nothing, Andrew, that is symbolic about this. There is nothing that is a gesture about it. It is a hardcore, hard left-wing seizure of power, grab of power, and grab for sovereignty in this nation. And people are slowly waking up to this, and this means that Linda Burney cannot sit in Parliament and be truthful to the two constituencies, the activist constituency and the rest of Australia.
Well, she can't even pretend to answer the question. I mean, what are they hiding? You've got to say, look, if it's all friendly and happy and smiles and no big deal and nothing to worry about, then just, answer the question. What is this Makarrata Commission that you've already given more than $5 million to? What is it? How's it linked to the voice? You can talk about it, but to actually refuse point blank twice not to answer the question, and by the way, not get told to, sit down if you can't answer it, that's just inexcusable when so much is at stake.
Because there is no answer. And that's the reality. And Australians are waking up to this fact. The question that they put forward to the Australian people, there is only one answer, which is no. Because every time you ask any question of this voice, you are led down this kind of hardcore leftist Marxist route, and it's not acceptable to Australians. They don't want to lose their sovereignty. They don't want to lose their rights.
They're not going to tell you. They're not going to explain. It's just shut up and trust us. I've got a theory, because this is going so much down south, this is sinking like a stone, right? They're starting to panic. You can actually see that now. I'm just wondering, Rowan, it was suggested to me by someone yesterday that Anthony Albanese could actually, Michael Kroger suggested, could call off this referendum, which is due, October, November, something like that, and say, look, it's been divisive. We need another year to bring Australians together, gesture to the public. You can trust me. Let's soothe it over and make a deal. We'll get some compromise. And my fear, of course, if he does that, the Liberals are divided enough and perhaps silly enough to actually reach some sort of compromise and betray the principle of, race. Let's not divide people by race. What do you make of that?
Well, as I said, it's stealth and deception, and they intend to arrive at this sovereignty treaty, truth-telling, etc., one way or another. So the end game, the voice, as they've now admitted, is just simply a small step, which many of us were saying for a long time. So they're in the Uluru Statement from the Heart. But the stealth component comes into play, and if they think for 1 second that delaying or cancelling or postponing the referendum will advance their cause, that is what they will do, because they are not interested in what they claim they're interested in. This is where the deception comes in. They're not interested in symbolic recognition or anything else. They want power, and they will take whatever steps to get that power. And if that means postponing the referendum, they will do it. Stealth and deception. That's what this is all about, Andrew.
Well, I think you're absolutely on the button there, because they know that this voice referendum, it's going down and it's dragging the Labor vote down with it. And they can't have that. It's doing so much damage to Albanese as well. You see his popularity ratings. I think they'd be keen to get rid of it. Rowan Dean, thank you so much indeed for your time.